hospital for all types of conditions. But there's one kind of sickness that they have in common: homesickness. We want to get kids home from hospital sooner. To cure homesickness, please donate today at curinghomesickness.org.
Until midnight, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Time to talk technology with Ben Aylett. We're going to do that in just a sec. Don't forget our $3,000 prize that we're going around this month. It is a 6 gold class passes per month for a year, thanks to our friends at Event Cinemas, Innaloo, Whitfords and Greater Union, Morley. So don't forget to listen out for that one. Give you a chance to pick that up. That'll be put on your Sydney Buzz rewards card. Will be charged with 6 gold class tickets per month for an entire year. Geez, I bet Helen would love you for that one, mate.
That would be an amazing prize to win.
Yeah. You reckon you could win some brownie points?
I'd win all of them.
Yeah.
I'd have the market cornered on brownie points.
Only trouble, you can't win.
Oh.
But
okay. All right.
You can only dream. It's like you and I when we look at the big lotto draw, mate. Yeah. But it always seems to be somebody else. Something that's on our minds.
Yes.
And something that's very big at the moment. Mm-hmm. Of course, we are talking about Cyber Security Month.
Yes, we are.
And I suppose in no derogatory terms, it remains fair to say that the weakest link in security still remains the end user.
The end user and I suppose the habits that we've formed, or the habits we haven't formed, more likely. So, look, what I've done, it is Cybersecurity Month. We do have Cybersecurity Week coming out next week. We've also got Kevin Mitnick, hacker extraordinaire, who's now gone from the dark side to the light side. He's now visiting Perth at the end of this week. And it's my favourite time of the year, really, because it's all about cybersecurity. It's about people protecting themselves a little better with just a few hints and tips and tricks. And I've actually posted these tips and tricks that people can use, and it's designed for them to refer to over the month. And I've got 4 major takeaways.
Yep.
And for each week, you're going to do one little exercise.
All right, well, let me ask you this question. What do you think is the source of greatest security threat for the average end user? The person at home with their laptop, tablet, PC, whatever the case may be. In your experience, where do they make themselves most vulnerable? What's the most easiest aspect to exploit?
It's hard to pin down to just one thing, but I think it's a combination of two. So first of all, it's passwords. It's how we secure our accounts. We might reuse passwords. We might choose very simple passwords, all because it's easier for us to do. There are actually tools that allow us to use incredibly complex passwords and keep them all locked away nice and safe. They're called password managers. And this is something we cover in week 1.
Yep.
So
you're a big proponent of LastPass, aren't you?
I absolutely love, use and recommend LastPass.
Yep.
It is fantastic. So there is a free version of LastPass, and it does honestly everything you need to do. There are paid versions which give a few extra tweaks and things, but I actually haven't looked that far into them. But I did have Professional for a while because it had the features I needed at the time, and you can subscribe and unsubscribe.
The key is you need alphanumeric passwords with symbols, upper and lower case.
Yeah,
and of course one of the reasons being people like words they can remember. So the dog's name might be Fido, but if Fido is your password, probably isn't going to take the average hacker long to smash through it.
No. Okay, so the trick with passwords is that we've got to make them complex. So complex is a start, but the real kicker is when we make them long. So instead of using a password, we should be using a passphrase. So instead of something like, red banana 219 hash exclamation mark question mark, we can say, I like green bananas because they're good at hammering in nails.
I like green bananas because they are not red bananas.
There you go. So I like green bananas because they are not red bananas.
So what happens when you have
exclamation mark on the end, all the spaces in between, and you're good.
There's a lot of objection here.
Yes.
What happens when you have, and a lot of places do, they restrict the number of characters. Your password must be between 8 and 16 characters.
Yes.
What if you want to do a 30-character password?
Yeah, well, it's on them. It's on the services where they might have it too short, and it's kind of on them.
Boo his spit. All right, let's take some calls. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 922 118 882, the number. G'day, John.
G'day, Chris. G'day, Ben.
G'day, John.
quick question.
Yeah.
Or might be more, might not be as quick as you'd like. I've got a G5 Samsung phone.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on a minute, just take the speaker off. That should be better.
Yep.
Samsung G5.
Got
Yep.
a G5 Samsung phone.
Yep.
I think the battery's overheating, or have also been told the motherboard might be on its way out.
Oh,
So I'm looking at replacing it before it does die.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the A70, and well, you know, well, obviously you can't, but I'm not going to buy a second-hand G5 because of the, you know, the age of it anyway, buying someone else's problems. What would you suggest in the Samsung range?
I'm a big fan of the Galaxy phones because they're just nice. They're really nice. But if you don't want to spend that sort of money, you can go for the A70, and the A70 is $649.
Yeah.
And hang on, that might be the US prices. So have a quick look at our buddies at JB Hi-Fi, see what they're offering it for. And we see for a Samsung A70 that's black, 128 gigs, $649. Now, for $649, you're getting something pretty decent. However, if I was to spend $649, $650 on a smartphone, I would be getting myself the Google Pixel 3a or the Google Pixel 3a XL. The Google...
Hang on, mate. I've picked up a pen that doesn't bloody work. All right to you.
It's always a way.
A Google...
Google Pixel, Pixel, 3A.
Oh, Google, yeah. Pixel 3A.
3A. Or the 3A XL. So the XL is the same as the 3A, but it's just bigger. But for the 3A... $649, 64 gig of RAM. It's not quite as big as far as RAM goes. But as far as phones go, for that price, you are getting an amazing camera. So it's got a night mode that will beat the pants off an iPhone 11 or come close to it. So low light performance is unbelievable. It's also a Google phone. Google are the people who also make Android. So whenever there is a security update, guess who gets the updates first?
At Google.
Bingo. That's right. So you've got the potential to have an extremely secure phone as well.
Yeah. The practical operation of the phone, is that very similar to the Galaxy?
Android is Android. So
okay, because I've got a friend that's got an iPhone, and more than once I want to throw the bloody thing at the wall.
It is not running iOS, and the Google Pixel or the Samsung Galaxy, whatever, all the Android phones, they are not iOS phones. They're not Apple iPhones. They will work the same, but they won't work anything like the iPhones.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, John.
That was a good call.
It was a very good call.
I like those ones.
Hi, Graham.
How are you, Chris?
Good, mate. Ben's listening.
Yeah, well, I'm not really a computer person at all.
Okay.
But I sort of now I'm missing out a bit.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to use a computer. People have tried to teach me, and my brain just switches off. Okay.
Right. Okay.
I'm old school, mate. Sort of like I don't know.
Yeah.
I get so far with it, and then I don't know. Like, and you know, I'd like to be able to use Uber and stuff like that because they're cheaper than taxis and stuff like that. How do you do that without a computer?
Uber. Well, Uber you can use with a smartphone. So smartphones these days and tablets will do pretty much anything a computer can. So if you've got a smartphone, you're pretty much there.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't need a computer for that. Well, that's what Ben's telling you, Graham. A smartphone will do the job.
Do you have a smartphone?
Yeah. No, but I've got one that doesn't work, but I can get it fixed.
Well, you could start with that, get yourself a decent smartphone. So the reason why a lot of people tend to throw their hands in the air when it comes to dealing with technology is they start off and they think, oh, look, I'm only going to get myself something cheap because I don't think I'll be using it.
Yeah, well, that's what I did,
Yeah. And when you get something cheap, obviously some corners are going to be cut, so performance is not going to be fantastic. And as you're trying to use it, not only are you trying to learn a new system, but the system itself might be running a bit slow, which it becomes annoying. And when it becomes annoying and you're trying to learn, you usually just give up because it's easier.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to spend a decent amount of money. Now, I'm not talking thousands of dollars or over $1,000 like our last caller.
Thousands and thousands.
No.
Okay.
like our last caller, go for the mid-range. So we're talking around about $500 to $600 for a phone, and that will get you a good smartphone that will last you at least 2, maybe 3 years. And if you break it down to what that costs you over that period of time, it's actually not that bad. And you will actually get a very useful device that you'll probably take like a duck to water. You never know.
Just one bit of information I wanted to know is, like, where could I go and sort of learn this sort of stuff, this modern technology?
Do you know any kids? you can start there.
I know, 4-year-olds are smarter than me at the moment.
So if you can find a 12-year-old, you're kind of halfway there. No, there are classes all over the place. So there is the First Click program run by the government, and you'll find that in libraries and things. So check in with your local library to see if they've got any computer education classes. If you're interested in having a look at what Apple can do, Apple actually hold workshops in the Apple stores, and they will actually put a bit of time into teaching you how to use it, because at the end of the day, once you're comfortable with an Apple device, what are you going to do? You're going to buy an Apple device.
Because I don't want to buy something that I don't know how to use.
Exactly. That's right. So, definitely just get in there and get your hands dirty. Just have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, just play around with it, mate, seriously. And the thing is, unless you put an explosive device in, you can't blow it up. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we're not being silly saying that. How often are people genuinely worried about that? So unless you're going to attach an explosive device to it, play with it, you won't blow it up, Graham. And good luck with that. Hey, Muzzer.
Hang on. Hello, boys. How you going?
Good, mate.
Not too bad. What's up, Muzzer?
Not bad. I want to find out if there's any reminder app that I can get on my phone that doesn't have bloody advertising. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, so what are you using, an Android phone or an Apple iPhone?
An Android phone, yes. Got the new 8.1 Nokia, but
Nice.
No, the other thing, it didn't have a calculator app on it. Can you believe that? I had to install one.
Yeah, okay. The first place, so when I've got an Android phone, the first place I go for all of my utilities is I go to Google. So you start off at the Play Store, and then you look for something like Google Calendar. Google Calendar, you can actually set appointments and reminders, and it'll actually alert you, and it ties in nicely to the Google Assistant as well. So you don't have to go and get what we'd call a third-party app. You can go straight to Google, and you can go from there. So start off, look for Google Calendar or Google Translate or Google anything, and you'll see underneath the title of the app, you'll see the name of the business, which is Google. You tap on the name of the business, Google, and it'll show you all the apps that Google has produced. This way you know you're getting something that's safe, and 9 times out of 10, it'll actually do the job that you're after.
Okay, so if I just like to touch on Play Store as such, on the app here I've got now.
Yep, go onto the Play Store.
A lot of things come up.
Yep. And then type in Google Calendar. And
Google Calendar, okay.
And then you'll find Google
yep.
Calendar, and underneath you'll see the listing for that app. So you'll see the Google Calendar app, and underneath the name Google Calendar, you'll see Google LLC.
Google, oh yes, I do. Yes,
tap on the Google LLC, and that will show you all the apps done by Google. Start looking there, and I'm pretty sure you'll find your answer. So there's Google Reminders, Google Calendar, Tasks. There's also the Google Assistant, which will you can just say, hey, and then Google, and you can actually tell it to set a reminder for you or set an alarm, and it will actually make a noise when it's time for you to do something.
Yeah, like the one I use now, I've got the app, and it also repeats itself every so often. Like how many, like I set it for 5 minutes later or 7 minutes later, it goes off again, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give that a try. Thanks, Ben.
No worries, mate. Thanks for calling.
And thanks a lot for that, Muzzer. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben Aylett, of course, he's identified by his Hawaiian shirt and also by his website, which is benaylett.com. That is 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett. Mm-hmm. That's where you'll find all of his contact information. However, if I'd like to have a chat to him right now. 9221 882 the number.
Start your day the right way.
And which academic at which university has come up with this ball terror, Milsey? Any kids' bedtime stories featuring animals with human characteristics could be giving the kids a distorted image of the natural world and making them biologically illiterate.
With Steve Mills and Basil Zemplis.
I actually had a horse talk to me once.
And said,
No, seriously, you might think this is strange.
I will win the Melbourne Cup.
No, it was walking around the Manny enclosure and it physically stopped. This is a true
my
story.
name is Rick Kinley.
No, hold it.
Breakfast with Steve Mills and Basil Zemplis. Tomorrow morning from 5 on 882 6PR. Or catch up now at 6pr.com.au.
The experts say if you really want to know what makes Albi Lager the best in WA, talk to the brewer. So we did.
Gage Roads is in Palmyra, just outside of Fremantle. It's been there since 2004. It's now the biggest brewery in Western Australia. WA barley's local. It's actually one of the best growing regions for barley in the world. It's about using real West Australian ingredients to create a West Australian beer. Helps the local farmers, helps the local community. I love it that it's clean and crisp and light and refreshing, and that's really what you want out of a lager beer.
Albi, made by WA.
Hi guys, Frank from Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions. I'm here today with Formula One World Champion Alan Jones. How are you today, Alan?
I'm very well, thank you, Frank. How could you be otherwise, surrounded by beautiful motor cars?
Absolutely. So I've got some exciting news for you guys. We've opened a secure facility in Perth. Finally, we're there. I know you guys have been patient and waiting for us. The classic car market is going from strength to strength. We've seen some great results these past few months. So if you are looking to sell a car, Perth, we are here. lloydsauctions.com.au/classic or 1800 456 588.
If you're over 50, chances are you know the difference between a great deal and a dud. So you'll want to know all about this group discounted offer from Origin Energy at 50upclub.com. This deal will give you a 35% discount on Origin's natural gas usage charges on Origin Flexi usage in WA for 12 months. It's a discount on Origin's basic charges only, with no exit fees or lock-in contracts. Energy fact sheets are available upon request by calling 13 24 61. Get in quick for this special offer from one of Australia's largest energy retailers, Origin Energy. See how much you can save. Join the 50 Up Club for free today at 50upclub.com.
Suffering from stiff muscles post-exercise? Become a well-being with Blackmore's new active magnesium powder from Chemist Warehouse. This lemon and lime flavoured powder contains 2 forms of magnesium with 320 milligrams per dose plus ginseng to help post-exercise recovery. At Chemist Warehouse, Blackmore's new active magnesium is $31.99. Always read the label, follow the directions for use. If symptoms persist, talk to your health professional. Supplements may only be of assistance if dietary intake is inadequate. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day.
Some people search a lifetime for true love. Others have it parked in their garage. Treat the ones you love with F10 Fuel Treatment. F10 Fuel Treatment. Available at Autobarn, Auto Pro, Cobbs Parts, Truckline and Veals.
Nestled in a tranquil riverside setting sits the International on the water. From the riverside deck and the Ascot pub, enjoy the laid-back charm and cosy, elegant atmosphere overlooking the Swan River. May I recommend the excellent Friday night smorgasbord for just $20, or the Saturday night all-you-can-eat Asian buffet, only $25 per person. That is amazing value for any celebration. With free undercover parking, make your next outing to the International on the Water. See more at internationalonthewater.com.au.
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Ben Ayllett's here to talk technology and answer your questions, as he's already done. 9221 882 if you'd like to ask Ben a question. By the way, don't ever think there is a silly question. The only silly question is the one you don't ask because you haven't asked it, so therefore you don't know the answer. BenAylett.com, 1 L 2 T's in Aylett. He is identified by his Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
Anything less is not authentic.
All points covered.
That's right.
Good to go.
By the way, his websites, where you'll also find all of his contact information. Just getting back to what we're talking about with cybersecurity.
Yes.
And you're really big. I know you've written a very good article on BenAylett.com about Cybersecurity Month and tips for home users.
Yep.
One of the areas we focus on, passwords.
Yes.
And it's really easy.
Yep.
A lot of people have one password, and it's one that's really simple.
Yeah.
And look, the reason why they have one that's really simple is so they can remember it. Because somewhere along the line, people kind of got the message that it doesn't really make sense to write a password down.
No.
So how do we go about setting up one of these password managers in a way that people can feel comfortable with it? Because effectively, supposedly, a third party knows your password.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing you do is when we go to lastpass.com or any of the other password managers I've mentioned in the article, you sign up, and it's usually free. So you start off by giving them your email address, and then you choose a password. Now, they're going to, because these guys understand passwords, they are going to make sure that you choose a good password. So password or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or a dog's name or something simple is not going to cut it. They are actually going to make sure that you choose and use a good, strong password. Now, this password is okay for you to write down on a piece of paper if you must, or try and commit it to memory somehow. But please don't save that password on any of your devices, because if your device gets compromised, they'll have that password. Okay? So
that's the big key, isn't it?
That's the big key. So, but this will be the last password you need to remember. You just need to remember this one password, because when you set up LastPass, it'll go through all of the saved usernames and passwords in your web browser and maybe on your computer, but it will actually go through and it'll find the passwords and the usernames and things all assigned to different accounts and websites, and it will automatically import them into the LastPass database. And that's it. That's the job done in most cases. You can then go through after the fact and you can start changing your critical passwords, starting with your email account. The email account is your keys to the kingdom. If you have a password that's reused between your email account and your social media account,
which often they are,
whenever a service is breached, the first thing that the bad guys do is they take a copy of the user database, which includes usernames, passwords, addresses, yada, 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 and they will then take those credentials and they'll try them against other things. So let's say I've got an account on a certain service. It might be Pix 500 or whatever, and I have my username, which is typically my email address, and that'll be ben.aylett@whatever.
Yep.
And I'll have a password. Now, if I reuse that password for my email account, the bad guy is obviously going to take that account. They're going to go to Gmail or Yahoo or my own website, and they're going to then use the password they found in that database that was breached from the other service, and bingo, they're in, if I reuse that password. So it's very important to make sure that the very first thing you do when you get LastPass up and running is that you go to your email account and you make sure that you change the password. When you change the password, LastPass will pick up this change and it'll update the database.
That's right.
It's a hands-off thing. And you don't actually have to remember that password either. You don't even have to generate the password. You can get LastPass to do it for you or your password manager to do it for you. They'll create massive monsters of passwords that will be pretty much impossible to crack.
The other question, I suppose, that comes out of this, and many people are going to ask, what happens if my computer crashes, or if worse still, I forget my password to something like the master password to LastPass?
Okay. If your computer crashes, don't worry, because LastPass and other password managers like it are what we call cloud-based.
Yep.
So your password, as long as you can remember it, you can go to any computer or any device that you like and go to the service. In this case, it'll be LastPass. You put in your username, password, and you're in. That's it.
Yep.
If you forget your password, which I really hope you don't, it's kind of a trade-off, because LastPass, they are so serious about security. Your password is actually your encryption key to your entire vault. LastPass don't keep a copy because that would be bad. They don't want to have that. They don't want that information, because that means if someone gets compromised, if they get compromised, it's useless, because if they don't hold on to the password or the encryption key in this case, it means that can't be reverse engineered and everyone's accounts popped open. So,
that's very good, isn't it?
So when it comes to forgetting your LastPass password, don't do it, because if you do, they can't recover it, because they will not have access to your actual passwords. They don't want it, because that's not their business.
So the bottom line is, when you're running one of these, great.
Yep.
Just don't lose your password.
Don't lose the password. Write it down. Keep it somewhere safe. You can actually get things called one-time passwords or recovery passwords, which will allow you to log into the service once and once only, and that will give you enough time to get in there, change a password to something you can remember, and on you go. And those one-time passwords also are very, very handy when it comes to dealing with deceased estates. So if you
yes,
exactly. So if you had the executor of the will, someone you trust, your lawyer, you actually give them a sheet of these one-time passwords, and that goes into your will. And then all of your digital assets, which are becoming bigger and bigger as time goes on, people can use that one-time password to get into the account, get whatever it is they need done.
Yep.
And then that password is useless. So there you go. So really, really handy when it comes to dealing with all sorts of things, including deceased estates.
That's a very good point, because how many people would be left without knowing anything simply because they didn't, a whole raft of other things, people have considered everything, but nobody's considered what happens to their digital assets when they pass on. It's a very good question.
It is.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. How you going?
Good.
Very well, Lisa. What's
Ben's
up?
listening. Go for it.
I've got a couple of numbers again. You know, like I rang you once before about people when you meet trying to scam.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I've got a couple more here.
What you got?
03 7017
037017. Yep.
Yep. 8528.
Yep.
And then another one.
Yep.
03 8582 9008.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Saved.
Yeah. We'll call them at some point.
We'll call. Yeah. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, Lisa.
No, thanks a lot for that, Lisa. Much appreciated. Trouble is, these numbers are such a moving feast.
They are. Yeah. So you've got to catch them quick. And hopefully they're not assigned to some poor innocent who's going to be on the other end of the call. But yeah, we'll follow that up.
Yeah, it's amazing how often they acquire these numbers, you know.
Well, it's not that hard, really.
Yeah, they've got to do something. They've got to do something about people acquiring VoIP numbers which are not really being attached to anything.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an issue, isn't it?
It is. It's a real pain.
Because these people are just calling all the time.
Yeah, I wonder if there should be some way that you can trace the number back to an IP address and time at a certain location, and so you might be able to give people the opportunity to maybe kick in a door.
All right. Well, the 037017828528,
yeah,
according to everything I can see here, is Bupa customer service follow-up call after joining to confirm you've received an information pack on the cover and extras. It says here, not spam or marketing.
Okay. All right, so that's legit.
Bupa operator returning call after joining. And somebody else said, even if they are Bupa, they called me 4 times today with one of the calls being after hours. I still classify this number as spam regardless of its legitimacy.
Yep.
So there's certainly some questions there. My friend, time as always has alerted us.
Oh,
we should rock back in again next week. Don't forget, benailets.com is a website. And also, if you have any questions, don't forget Ben's mailbag, which is on his website. I'll talk to you next week.
Catch you then.
Hi there, it's Simon Beaumont. Another day, another mind-blowing experience.